abroad. This is our first episode, and we are looking forward to making many episodes so that you can get information, you can be entertained, and we can tell you everything there is to know about going abroad from Africa. Mostly Nigeria and Ghana, because that's where most of our knowledge is from. But we will make sure that we give as much information as we can, and this will also be based a lot on your input as well. So I'm Dami, which is what I should have said right from the beginning, and here is my colleague.
I'm Wole, and I'm so glad to get to this opportunity to share our knowledge and our understanding of how to study abroad from, as Dami said, from West Africa, especially Nigeria and Ghana, but we'll make sure we incorporate all our other African brothers and sisters to make sure that they know all their opportunities and how to have the full potential, get the full opportunity.
All right, so our first episode, because it's an introductory episode, we are going to start with the best countries to go to study abroad. Now, I'm sure you've seen so many of these, charts and, bits of, lists. But we're going to try to give you as much information as possible about each of those countries, which is why we made it a two-part episode, actually. So, and this is not in any particular order, by the way. So don't think, why? But I love the US or I love the UK, no. So why isn't it number one?
So it's not in order of importance, but we're going to put it into two different videos so that we'll continue with part two. So we're also looking forward to your input, so don't forget to click your likes, subscribe, and also follow the link below and put on some comments for us so we know if we're going ahead with it right or if we need to be doing any adjustments to our show, because we're still learning the trade.
Yeah. We're just starting. All right, so for part one, here we go.
So, number one.
Yeah, as you know, most lists will start from 10 to 1, but we're gonna start straight from number 1.
Oh yeah.
Like I said, we are doing things differently. Okay, so the number one place to study is Canada.
So number one place to study is Canada. So the Canada is North America for those who are geographically challenged like myself, and yes, Canada gives you the opportunity to go and study there, but also enables you to stay longer, to work there, and eventually get some form of citizenship.
Yeah.
And this is for those of us who are leaving our countries and looking for a better opportunity out there, not only through education, but through our work and our careers. I think Canada is a good number one to begin with.
Yeah, so a lot of good things can come out of studying in Canada, but there are cons.
Yes. So some of the cons of trying to go to Canada for studies is that, first of all, the fees are expensive. Say that to obtain a visa to go and study in Canada is a bit of a long process. So things like that are important to know. Also, if you are weather challenged,
it is cold.
It is cold. It is cold. So it might be an advantage or disadvantage depending on who you are.
Yeah, if you're somebody looking for something different, like this Africa is hot. You know what I mean? And you're thinking, okay, I want to go somewhere where it's cool and chilled, because it's actually better for your skin actually when you go to these cold places. You know what I mean? So you want to be fresh.
I am on the flip side. So I like my sun. I like my beaches. So
yeah, but like I said, it's good for your skin. If you're somebody that is like, man, I'm all about looking fresh. Let the cold hit my skin so I can look nice and fresh. Then great. But if you are somebody who like Wole that doesn't like cold, then my brother and my sister, Canada is not for you.
Run, unless, but usually I say run, but it's something that most people who worry about the weather, I feel, most people that worry about the weather, that the weather becomes a factor to why they would go to those places. You need to, as we are doing right now, weigh the pros and cons. And if the pros outweighs the cons, and you realize that it's a weather thing, I mean, you can layer up. I mean, there's so much you can.
Yeah.
There's some clothes that even heat up for you. So it's there's a lot of things that can. It's not. I'm not saying it's going to be easy, but it's easily
It's worth it.
overcomable.
Yeah, it's definitely worth it because a lot of students that have gone to Canada, even though at first the cold is an issue, and it's just when you're on the outside. The heating is absolutely fantastic, top notch, obviously because they know that this is something that they have to deal with. So when you're in your lecture halls, when you're walking around university accommodation, or you're just generally in your house, you don't have to worry about the cold, because you will have the right heating, and don't worry, they're not going to take light. So the heating is not going to go off. All right.
Yeah.
So Canada, number one, for many many reasons, mostly because you have the opportunity to get a career out of your studies, which is something that a lot of people look for, especially when studying outside of Nigeria, Ghana, or most other parts of Africa.
And that leads us to number two. So the reason I'm placing this number two here is because it has way better weather than Canada, and also has the same opportunities as Canada, and I would say Australia. Bang. You people did not expect it.
I was not expecting that.
You guys were not expecting Australia. But Australia has now started to become another study location. And the reason is the same as Canada. Once you go to Australia, you'll be able to get your degree, be able to have a stay and get jobs. What they have similar between Canada and Australia, which is not the weather, is
yeah, the weather is better.
is that they are such a big country with a lot of space, and they're looking for labor, which not necessarily not that population are either qualified or able to do, and they're always open to welcoming us Africans, us Africans, to come and fill those needed gaps in their workforce. So going to study there, it's, I think right now it's slightly cheaper than Canada, but it's still pricey.
Well, actually, it depends on where you go. So they have some universities that they call the Group of Eight. So those are the top universities in Australia, and as you can imagine, those are a lot more expensive, mostly because the quality of education that you're getting in Canada in Australia, pardon me, is top notch. Like it's in terms of accreditation, in terms of just making sure that there's quality in what they're putting out there. Australia really does that. And actually, I worked on recruiting to Australia for quite a while. Yeah. But one thing I do know is that when you're applying for a visa to Australia, everything needs to be in order, or else zero. All right. If you have a rejection from another country, you need to come out and say, yes, I've had a rejection. If you lie, zero.
Please don't lie for any of them.
Don't lie for any of them, but
general rule.
Don't lie for any of them, but it's very straightforward. It's all online. You just upload documents. There's not really any interviews or anything like that you have to go for and feel nervous about, but they will check every single detail that you provide. So you have to make sure that everything is tip top, done the proper way, all the rules. And the thing is, all the rules are stated on the site. So the only thing is, if you don't follow the rules, then you're a mess. But you have to follow every single thing to the T, and your personal statement. Oh my gosh, that is the major area that they look at. If your statement does not match, one, what is in your application, two, what you've stated as your reason for wanting to go and study, so on and so forth, zero. Okay? Sorry, I keep saying zero, but it just basically means no go area.
And clearly, it's a waste of your time and your funds at that time. So there are plenty of us out there, like myself and Dami. We are education advisors, so we'll be able to tell you what the best steps are for each of the locations you're looking at.
Yeah.
Hence the videos and the channel.
Well, yeah, there you go.
But also, we would also have our contacts where you can reach us directly
Via email.
So it will be down in the comment section.
Yeah, so we'll be happy to respond to as many as we can. All right, so we need to run through the rest of the countries.
You didn't give any advantages or disadvantages. Main disadvantage.
I kind of didn't, state it specifically that that's a disadvantage, but I would say that the visa process is one area that you should definitely I don't know whether to say worry about or
seek a professional.
Think very carefully about. And your personal statement to the university and to for visa, you need to make sure that it's perfect. Whilst there are some other countries that may not pay too much attention to it or not put as much emphasis on it as Australia does, so you have to definitely make sure that is tip top.
Not for most countries, but you need to check your country and see if the visa application can be fully done in your home countries. Or you have to travel to the nearby countries. But most of you would know, if you want to travel abroad, that some of your biometrics, which is when they check out your fingerprints and get the background knowledge on you, is that you need to go, if it's not in your country or a designated city, for instance, you need to plan for that travel.
Yeah.
So moving on to the next country.
It's the UK.
Woo!
United Kingdom. Yes. Now, I know a lot of you are probably thinking, why wasn't this number one? Like, this is like the most popular destination for Africans to go to. We've been going to this place for years. Years and years. Our fathers and our fathers' fathers went to the UK to stay. So
our trusted location.
Yes, so the UK is an absolutely fantastic country. They are very clear on how Nigerians study or Africans in general. They are very open to international students. They have been accepting international students for years and years.
They've been doing it for years, as she said. And I think at this point they've gotten it down to a T, that they know exactly what is to do. And if you follow those rules and the regulations, you have, even after receiving refusals from the US, sometimes there are some cases, but in most cases, if you receive a refusal from another place due to visa, the UK will still be able to accept you.
Yeah, that is a big pro for the UK actually. And another pro is, and I know a lot of people will jump at this, but a lot of the universities actually don't need IELTS or TOEFL or PTE anymore. You can just submit your WAEC or just a letter from your university, and that is proof of English.
So for those of you who don't quite understand why you need to do IELTS, PTE, WAEC, or NECO to submit it with your application, is that most of these international countries, destination for studying, will require you to have some proof of English. You may say, I come from Nigeria, I come from Ghana, I come from I speak English more than the Queen. No. No. So unfortunately, like even going into Nigerian universities or any universities in your home country, you have to give them a decent certificate to prove that your English is good.
Yeah.
So yes, so some of these countries like the UK, US, Canada, Australia will require you to have some English certification. For the UK, it was the IELTS. It used to be the IELTS. There used to be the PTE, the Pearsons.
Yeah.
And I mean, there were a couple of others. TOEFL, yes.
And some places are accepting Duolingo now.
Yeah.
So you can look into that. Don't worry, we'll give you information about that in a different show.
But some universities now accept your local high school certificates, like for Nigerians and Ghanaians and West Africans, the WASI or WAEC. So that's a plus. The NECO for Nigerians, the GE or GCE from Cameroon, and then Uganda. We know all of you. Some of these universities actually understand that you have been studying English all your lives, and some of you might come from these African countries and only have English under your belt. So, there's no contest about how good your English is, but
Yeah.
still.
Yeah, and the UK has a good combination of weather. So if you're somebody that is looking for, you know, a little bit of cold and a little bit of warm, the UK has you covered because, you know, there are, you know, the summer months are absolutely fantastic and the winter months are not that bad, you know, but again, they are not going to take light. So when you're in your house, you're fine, just turn on the heating and you're covered, okay? And a lot of the university accommodation, all those bills are covered. Private accommodation as well, it's so easy to sort out when it comes to bills and things like that. It's so straightforward. It comes to your address. You don't need to go anywhere. You don't have to go and look for NEPA office. You just basically, you know, sit at home and the bill will come and meet you, and you pay by card, pay online.
Pay online.
It's so
you
simple.
don't even need to leave where you are to sort.
Honestly,
to
all
sort
your
yourself
bills,
out.
all your bills. So the UK is absolutely, and then in terms of opportunities, the UK offers post-study work opportunities now. It's called the graduate immigration route, which actually starts from this year. So those who are
The batch of students that are graduating this year and, subsequently, we have the opportunity to stay in the UK for an additional 2 years.
3 years for PhD.
3 years for PhD. Once they are able to prove that they were successful with their course, so please don't go doing a course, fail the course, then say you want to stay in the
who wants a freeloader? Who wants a failure? Nobody. Nobody. Don't even come back to Nigeria with that.
Please be successful. Africa not the carry last. Nigeria not the carry last.
Honestly, so make sure that you get it done and you know, you are able to get a good grade so that you can take advantage of the opportunities available to you. All right, so we've covered 3 countries so far. We covered Canada, we covered Australia, and we've covered the UK, and we are going to cover these countries in depth.
Don't worry if you are still a bit confused and you've not gotten all the information that you feel you have from these 3. Know that we are going to come up later with videos for each one of them.
Yeah.
More in depth from the application period all the way to the visa application, all the way to your travels.
Yeah.
So
living expenses, everything you need to know about studying in every single one of these countries, we will cover in depth. So thank you very much for taking the time to listen to us. We have had so much fun you know, making this video. So we will see you on the next one. Don't forget to like, subscribe, all that stuff. You know, I'm new to this. Leave a comment. And we'll leave a bit of information also in the description box so you can send us emails if you have questions.
This is our first show. And thank you very much for taking a chance on us.
Thank you very much for your time.
Bye. Till next week.